Shalom, goddammit! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon of Temple, Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. I'm proud to bring you this new segment called Is It Good for the Jews? It's a question I feel uniquely qualified to answer because I'm Jewish and I'm good. And I want to thank my good friend Dave Lefkowitz for giving me this recurring slot, this radio moment to speak my piece. And that is very ironic, because peace is the last thing that comes to mind when I think of tonight's topic. Yasser Arafat, that son of a bitch, that liar, that murderer, that bastard. But let me tell you how I really feel. Here is an avowed terrorist, an unrepentant radical whose idea of a Middle East solution was never very far from Hitler's idea of a final solution. Oh, sure, he talked about trading land for peace, trading sovereignty for peace, trading money for peace. Of course, he meant peace with Syria, peace with Jordan. Israel is another story. He's such a filthy liar, he won't even tell the truth about whether he's dead or not. For a month, we've been playing Wheel of Arafat. Spin the wheel. Oh, he's dead. No, wait, he has liver trouble, but he's still alive. Spin again. Up, this time he's very definitely dead. Wait, no, he's only sleeping, he's fine, he's making plans for a trip to Monte Carlo. Spin again. His pupils are dilated, he's pale as a ghost. Wait, feed him some blood at sundown, he'll perk right up. What the hell is this? All these years he's been bitching about the so-called right of return. Who knew that what he really meant was his right to return from the dead? And you know, he was so close. A peace treaty was on the table. Israel was ready to give up everything but the kitchen sink and throw in the hot water faucet. And that was Oslo, and then Paris, Israel saying, you want a homeland? You want to live as neighbors? Here, this is all we are giving up. West Bank, Gaza, half of Jerusalem. Now, put up or shut up, you ugly Arab bastard. And Arafat, that scummy little weasel, what does he do? He runs out of the room because they called his bluff. Madeleine Albright went chasing after him into the street. This is true. On high heels, this poor woman is running after Palestine's answer to Idi Amin, screaming at him, come back, we'll talk. Now, he's done talking. Now, granted, Madeleine Albright and Yasser Arafat together in the same place at the same time is enough homely to keep Extreme Makeover busy for a decade. But at least Albright's soul was pure. Arafat was just wasting everybody's time. Even if he signed the treaty, he had no authority to enforce it. He couldn't control his own PLO, let alone Hamas or Islamic Jihad. And in recent years, he's lost all credibility, he's lost all claims to statesmanship, he's lost all bowel and bladder function. All right, that's happened to me too. But the point is, he's no hero. He's no martyr for a cause. He's a big-mouth goon, a thug, a piece of garbage who should be buried under a pile of camel dung. And I mean a camel who's sick with diarrhea, not pellets. I'm talking the kind where you need half a roll of shaman just to wipe your tuchus. Not that you would wipe a camel's tuchus. They have their own wiping methods, I assume. Maybe the tail goes back and forth. I don't know. What's important is that Arafat may, in fact, finally be throwing in the kafir. It's going to be chaos in the territories for a while. But when isn't it? If they can come up with a leader, a true visionary, he doesn't have to be a saint or even a nice guy. I love Ariel Sharon, but let's face it, the guy's a prick. He's made mistakes, but he's out there trying, and if he fails, there's a dozen moderates willing to sacrifice a lot more than he has to get the peace process going again. But what do the Palestinians have? They've still got Arafat, who is such an egotist, he won't even appoint a successor on his deathbed. Or is Arafat showing the world there's no one to appoint? He can't find one single shrewd, intelligent Arab who realizes it's better to grow up than blow up. If I were an Arab, I would be pretty insulted by that. Then again, if I were an Arab, I'd look pretty stupid in this yarmulke and tallis, if you know what I'm saying. So, is the death of Yasser Arafat, who was actually born Muhammad Abd al-Raf al-Qudwa al-Husseini, How can you trust a man with that many goddamn names? Is Arafat's death good for the Jews? The answer, yes! That's an easy one, people. Wake up! He was a terrorist, he was a thief, he was a liar, and he was responsible for the killings of hundreds of Jews, and because of that, thousands of his own people. He was a dictator without a country, a fascist who couldn't dare to give up one iota of power. That is how power comes, by the way. Milk comes in liters, power comes in iotas. But Arafat has no iotas of power now. And he's not up in Muslim heaven with the goats and the sheep and the virgins and other things Arabs like to shtup. He's in the other place, burning and roasting and screaming in Gehenna. And God looking down on hell and saying to him, you wanted a homeland? Now you got one. And every Palestinian is welcome to join you. There's more than enough room, even with all those Germans. Well, that's my 2 shekels anyway. This is Rabbi Sol Solomon wishing you a good week on behalf of myself, my dear wife Miriam Libby, and our 19 and a half children. Nehemiah, Josiah, Shlomi, Chana, Rivki, Yehuda, Moish, Yechezkel, Baruch, Avigdor, Yisrael, Hephzibah, Shaul, Aliza, Shimon, Gedalia, Naphtali the elder, Naphtali the younger, and Fred, by my first marriage, and the fetus Beryl, who is approaching the 3rd trimester. I leave you with this poem. Is it gossip? Is it news? Are they lies? Are they truths? Use the clues and choose your views. Is it good for the Jews? Shalom Abracha.